Hi, and welcome back to Chicago Car Club. This is Mike, and this is another one of my boring but hopefully informative videos of cars for sale. This is a 1957 Jaguar XK140 SE. We do have the Jaguar Heritage Trust certificate on the car. It is in fact a proper SE model. It's a fixed head Coupé left-hand drive, manufactured on November 15th of 1956. We're going to go around, show you everything we see, point out the good, the bad, bring you up to speed on this. We found this car on the East Coast. We bought it from a long-term owner's wife who had gifted her the car prior to his passing, rather. The car was properly stored in a storage facility until we recovered it just recently. So we got the car back here, changed the fluids, or at least drained the oil, got Marvin's mystery oil inside of the cylinders, and the fuel was already drained and run out, which was great. So we put fresh fuel in it, and it fired right up, and it runs great. So we do, again, have the Heritage certificate on it, and it does confirm this is a 140 SE, so it would have the C-type head. We know that the original block is not in the car, but it does have the correct C-type head on it, despite the fact that it's not painted red as it should be. Little protrusion on the center line of the hood there where the trim goes. We do want to point out there's a little split in the paint along that body line, which we tried to highlight there. There's also a soft dent right here on the hood. We're trying to move the camera so you can see it. Very subtle and can be PDR'd. The windshield has a hairline crack on the driver's side. We opted to not replace it, although they are available from Moss Motors. A couple little door dings here from just likely opening the door into things in the garage. But this car is super solid. We see no signs of any major accident, repair, or panel replacement. Furthermore, we don't see any signs of any major rust repair on it. We believe the ownership goes back closer to 50 years, maybe more. We know the car was restored on the East Coast to the tune of $80,000. We don't have receipts for it, but going through the car and looking over everything, it's clear that there was a lot of money and time spent on the car when it was done. It was a frame-off restoration. The customer of ours who we bought it from only knew so much about it, but enough that she could help us understand exactly what was here. The carpets are nice and plush and clean. There are some mats that they custom made. The seats are in great shape. We've got mohair that looks really good, and the headliner is nice and taut. All the trim and chrome and everything on the car looks fantastic. You know, some minor little pitting things around emblems on the original emblems and what have you, but under the trunk here, original Lucas light box there, and again, trimmed out really nicely. You might notice there's an amp under the back compartment area there, which was, I believe there was a head unit in here. It doesn't look like it's there now, or if it is hidden up under the dash. So also interior door cards look really nice. Door handles and window arms and everything are in good shape. We do want to point out, we have the ignition key for the car, but the door keys and the trunk key we do not have, although they are unlocked. So I don't know if it's the same as the ignition key or the other key that we have, but or if that key's just worn out, but I do want to point that out. Inside the jams, again, really nice. We see no signs of sloppy welding and things like that we hate to see when we open the doors. A lot of times I can judge a car, I shouldn't say this, but a lot of times we look inside the door openings, and I can tell a lot from the quality of the work based on the pillars, front and back. Sun shields are in really nice shape. The dash is in really good shape. Smith gauges throughout are really nice and original. It does have the odometer shows 85,000 miles, which from our understanding is correct. We do want to point out that little trim ring fell inside of the Speedometer, we didn't go so far to take it apart, but it holds the speedometer from sweeping past 10 miles an hour, although the speedo does work. The tach, we noticed the inner cable is broken, so we didn't do anything with that, and that's a pretty simple repair as well. This car came through New York, so it stayed on the East Coast. And again, the tag on the car does show matching numbers to the chassis, the body, the close ratio gearbox. And again, we know that this is a freshly built motor when they did the restoration on the car, and it does have a C-type head on it, although it's not original to the car. Now, we do know where there is a motor sitting that was with this car. However, I cannot confirm with certainty that it's the original block. I would assume so based on my understanding of the prior owner. Now, whether or not, I'm pretty sure I can get that. When we got the car, we really didn't have the ability to grab the motor that was with it as well. So we'll fire it up here. It runs really well. Again, it fired right up, runs on its own fuel. The fuel tank is nice and clean inside, and again, that was drained properly, so there was, when we opened up the large plug under the fuel tank, there was no junk or residual fuel left in there. Really preserved nicely in storage. Wipers work, lights work. Again, the tach is in op at the moment, along with the clock, but the speedometer and odometer do function, although the speedo doesn't go past 10. Because there is that inner trim holding the needle down. Other Smith gauges seem to work fine. I do want to point out that I believe the alternator is not putting out proper voltage, just based on the battery wear down when we drive the car. So it may need an alternator. I just want to bring that to your attention. But track's nice and straight down the road. The wheel's in great shape, as you can see, but also it drives really nice and straight, and the suspension is nice and quiet. Feels really tight in a straight line. It tracks well, and under heavy braking, it stops nice and straight as well too. So it's a great driver. It just needs to be driven more. So the tires are a bit older and dry rotted. They'll need replacing, but the tread is good on them and worn evenly. This car was originally lavender gray over suede green interior. It is now what you might call lipstick red over a tan interior, but it looks really good, and they like that color when they had the car done. I'm trying to find out if in fact the family that we bought it from was the original owner, although I cannot confirm right now, so I don't want to make any false claims. But we'll go ahead, get the car back in the shop, get it up in the air, show you the underside of it. Also to note, the close ratio gearbox, we did get a picture which you'll see in our write-up with a tiny little mirror that shows the stamp on the top of the gearbox, which matches the tag. So it is the original close ratio transmission in the car. Everything checks out as original, short of the engine. But good oil pressure, holds good temperature when it's running. And we've got the car up in the air now. We'll first go around the outside, just show you these lower edges of the panels, which are in fantastic shape. I mean, you're getting, again, the wheels, also the wire wheels are excellent, including the knockoffs. You can see the tires are a little dry, but inside the fender wells are nice. Again, no sloppy welding. The battery box covers are intact with their original Zeus fasteners on them. And this underside, I mean, you're going to see little chips here and there just from road use, but really, really dry and solid. As always, we encourage you to reach out and call us anytime or text us. We're available 24/7 at 312-420-3696. Again, dual exhaust, It has fog lights. It has the windshield wiper washer setup, and the heritage certificate confirming that it is in fact a special edition, also known as an MC. Fuel pump works good. It's got an inline fuel filter in it, which has stayed clean, which is great. And then we'll get you under the car here and show you beneath. Again, a couple little chips here and there, but no rust blistering or anything like that. Everything's there underneath as far as we can tell, from the braking system, cooling, and throughout. Just trying to get focused in so you can see. It does not leak any oil from the oil pan, which is surprising. Most cars do, but I was very surprised to see that the oil pan was completely dry on this thing. So, and then up under the front suspension. And again, as with anything on the underside, you're going to have some oxidation over time, but everything's solid. The floor pans, all of the frame rails and welds and everything. I do want to point out that slave cylinder is seeping a little bit, which I guess is to be expected over time with the seals on it, but it does function. And all the way down the outriggers or rockers, I'm not sure exactly what they're called on the Jaguars, but really solid. But again, please do not hesitate to call or text. If there's anything we're missing, by all means, feel free to ask, comment. If you could like and subscribe, that would help us out a lot. But our only claim is that we are fully transparent in representing our vehicles. We do not claim to be the experts on these because likely you are one of the people watching that knows more about this car than we do, and that's okay by us, but we are open as always to any feedback to that point, and we'll adjust accordingly and try and answer your questions as best we can. But again, we appreciate you taking a look today at this 1957 Jaguar XK140 SE. Feel free to contact us anytime, 312-420-3696. Thanks.